Hello everyone, it's CoCo Wade with Exxpose Magazine, the founder and editor-in-chief, and you're watching Spiked Vibes with Exxpose Magazine Live. We're coming to you today with a special edition, and this is themed Keeping It 100. Why is that? Exxpose Magazine is celebrating its 9th year anniversary and 100 issues published. Yes. So exciting. So what we're going to do in this edition of Spiked Vibes with Exxpose Magazine Live, we're going to share with you a number of our favorite, most memorable cover stories and how they all came about. So take a moment, sit back, relax, and enjoy as we explore our journey of surreal truths behind the music and entertainment industry. I'll be right back. Runway Beauty is proud to present Color Cosmetics. Imagine a moment luxe and chic, commanding the runway, sashaying a glamorous face beat. Looks inspired by fashion cues, pivoting glam in a runway enthused. Our pigments, high in shade, edgy enough for Milanan babes. Dashing cosmetics created on cue, uniquely made for the beauty in you. The Runway Collection you don't want to miss. Unlock your beauty with just one click. RunwayBeautyCosmetics.com, where you'll find everything from full coverage to lip balm. Check out our selection of foundation, concealers, bronzers, blushes, highlighters, eyeshadows, loose powders, glitters, lip liners, eye pencils, lipsticks, glosses, setting sprays, and more. Imagine the catwalk as you explore. Make your purchase today at RunwayBeautyCosmetics.com, and we'll see you in the spotlight. It's CoCo Wade, y'all, and I'm the founder and editor-in-chief of Exxpose Magazine, and I'm sitting here with one of our upcoming cover stories. Listen, this is the moment that you've been waiting for. This is the moment that I have been waiting for. It's been a long time coming, very much overdue, and I could not be more pleased in this day and time than to introduce to you Berkley the Artist.
Hello.
How are you?
I am wonderful.
Look at you. Let me just take it all in, all right? This is a bunch of masculine,
You're very kind.
confident, fabulous.
Thank you. You are beautiful yourself.
Thank you.
I just told you, like, I love to see women dressed nice. It's just beautiful to see. It's refreshing. So thank you so much for having me and looking gorgeous.
Yes, thank you. I appreciate it. Well, and so now my confidence is through the roof. Okay, I'm good for the rest of the interview. I don't really care if a hair flies or whatever. I'm good. All right, because I'm with Berkley the Artist.
You're great.
And that means a lot. So we're going to talk about today what's coming up for him. We're going to talk about the journey to stardom. We're going to talk about surreal truths, and this is one of the most authentic, genuine beings that I've ever come across in real life. And we want to talk about how Exxpose Magazine is no stranger to him, nor he I. And I'm going to get right in and give you all the exclusives. So you guys, the fact that we're here and we started this journey some time ago, I want to say 2010, 11.
2010, 11, that's about right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I was privileged to interview on Access TV in New Orleans with you.
Definitely 10 years.
All right.
10
that
years.
Proves it.
For sure.
The moment I laid eyes on you, I said, he is it.
Wow.
I knew it. I'll never forget. Your hair had a pop of color.
I think I was doing like green. Or
it was wild.
It was
but
crazy.
It worked.
It was crazy at that time.
And you dared to do it, and you did.
You know, it's funny because people always remind me about my hair. I can always tell what year it is or era it is based upon what color or style my hair was in at the time.
Yeah.
And I found that for me, it's not really a big deal. It's just hair to me.
Wow.
But I guess to some people, they're like, what are you doing now with your hair? And I'm like, I don't know, it's growing. I'm just glad it's still growing.
Yeah.
But when it stops growing, then I'll work with it.
You'll do something else.
I'll find some cool hats or something.
Yes,
Make sure it's nice and shine my bald head.
And speaking of like your hair, okay, so like the whole look, your look is a package deal. I get Renaissance. I get Michael Jackson. I get Prince.
I love that.
Get Steve Urkel.
I love that.
I get rock star. I get a lot. There is no boring moment.
Why would we do anything that's boring? Why would we waste breath and do things that are boring?
Right?
You know what I'm saying?
It's true.
It's funny. My sister actually styled me tonight, Margaret Ann. She's also a writer on my new album, and a lot of the new material that you guys will be hearing and experiencing, she wrote with me. But I did grow up in a household where my father is a singer. My mother introduced us to Broadway and to the classics. My brother, he's a chief in the Navy, but he is a singer as well. So I grew up in a home, as I kind of mentioned earlier, that was very artistic and dramatic. Like, for real, you know, we are dramatic. So I think it displays itself in my fashion choices, which to me feel normal, but then when I go somewhere, people are like, whoa, and I'm like, I just pulled this out of the closet. I wasn't really intending to make it something of a big deal, but I'm already kind of dramatic in real life.
It's you.
So I think that's how it happens.
Yeah, and but that is within your character, your personality.
It's real. It's authentic for me.
Yeah.
You know, it's just, I'm dramatic, yo. And it is what it is. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, to think that amongst all the different things that you do and your laundry list of accomplishments, you are a professional. You're an educator in your own right. You're a professional at what you do. And you have the backing of some really prestigious institutions behind you. We want to talk about that. Tell us about the professional side.
Well, I'm a professor of pop and commercial music at Loyola University in the music industry's studies program. And I get to be the professor, which is so funny to me because growing up, I literally wanted to be Dwayne Wayne from A Different World.
You lied.
I wanted to be Dwayne Wayne, and I recently went back and looked at a couple of episodes, and he was a professor, yo. Like, whoa! That that really put something in my mind.
Well, this is like
as a
living
kid,
as a dream.
So exactly. So when I go to my teaching job at Loyola University in New Orleans, and I've taught at some other universities as well, Dillard University, Xavier University. But when I'm there, I am so grateful. I love what I do. I'm living my dream, and I get to teach and inspire, as well as create and regenerate and change. And it's a beautiful thing. I'm very grateful.
Honored,
I'm very grateful and honored. Honored would be the word. I'm very honored.
And you know, just to kind of let you guys in on a little bit of a secret, after we met back in 2010, and then obviously we stuck by each other because Exxpose Magazine was privileged to actually feature, you know, Berkley the Artist on the back cover of one of the publications early on. And then shortly after that, I found myself looking up to the leader.
But you were in LA.
I was in LA.
I remember us connecting downtown in LA. Yeah, and
you took care of me.
Well, I mean, isn't that what we do?
Yes.
This is New Orleans. You know, when you're a New Orleans person, you look after your people, wherever you are in the world. And when you told me you were there, I'm like, I hopped on the subway, got off on 7th and Metro. I remember.
Whoa.
We were like standing outside that Chipotle downtown. Yep.
This is a lot.
Yeah.
Oh my
And I had just moved to LA recently, and was trying to figure out my my new rhythm there, because that is a very different rhythm.
Oh yes.
And thank God over the years I found it.
Yes.
And I had some really great friends and some inspiring people. I always say Tisha Campbell is my Hollywood fairy godmother.
Yes.
Because she really helped me maneuver through that city and the protocols and the new way of life in a way that was really helpful to me. So with all that being said, I'm glad to be back in New Orleans, because the things that I learned, I really am bringing back to my city to share.
Hello.
And there's nothing like being home with family and friends and connected to my people here. So
indeed,
just happy to be home.
And we're happy to have you. And so we are fortunate to be bringing you to the front cover.
Thank you.
OMG.
I am so excited.
And we are doing a very special edition release. We've never released on the 27th day of any month at any point, and we're at issue. This will be 98 with Berkley the Artist. And then there's one more issue after, and then the 100th, which is yours truly. I'm so excited. You're helping us to get there.
Thank you so much. I mean, you've done great work, being consistent, and people got to know it's hard work to do this, y'all. You know, you don't just up and continue a magazine on your own privately without really having some guts.
That's a good way to put it.
You got some guts, okay? Making things happen.
True.
I love that.
True, thank you.
Good job. You've done great.
Thank you.
You've done great.
We've learned from you all. You have taught us what we needed to know about how to take care of people, how to structure the business, and how to keep a keen eye on what is trending, and how to get the real truths and allow you to tell your story and not mold it into what the media wants it to be. So we pride ourselves in that.
You have. Thank you for having me, and I'm just so happy to have an opportunity to speak my voice. And hopefully those of you that are watching out there, you feel connected to this moment, because this moment is really genuine. In the world that we live in now, where everything is kind of disingenuous and we don't know what's real or fake, this moment is very real. And thank you, because I appreciate authenticity. I appreciate being able to share it and be it without consequence. You know, sometimes when you are too authentic.
Whoa, he's dropping gems, knowledge.
You're out of here.
Facts.
So thank you.
You're welcome, of course, and thank you for doing the same. And this is why we celebrate you. I will not be muzzled at the mouth when it comes to celebrating Berkley the Artist. Like, this is one cover, but there is so much more we're bringing. I just see so much in you, and I always have, but I know that for us this is a new beginning. And as we continue to elevate, we owe that to you. We owe that to all of our feature stories, inside, cover, front, back, it doesn't matter. You guys is the foundation we've built our company on, and we didn't have stories before you would give us one. And that's very crucial in the development of where we're going. So, you know, obviously we're along for the ride, you are. And I want to talk about what people can expect, because I heard a little peep of the new song. Listen, you have no idea what you're in for. Berkley the Artist has come up with a creative masterpiece in composition along with his team, and this, you don't want to wait. You don't want to wait, but we have to allow you to release when you release. So let's talk about it.
Okay. So I wrote this song in January of 2020, in the very beginning of this year.
Okay.
Before COVID happened, there were so many interesting shifts that happened for me at the top of the year.
Okay.
I started out the top of the year singing at the Kennedy Center for the very first time. It was a dream of mine. Diana Ross was literally about to perform across the hall from us. So all of the people that came to see Diana Ross, my performance was outside of that hall. So they all kind of turned around and looked at us. So I was excited already, like, whoa, this year is gonna be great. And then right after that, I got a call from Tank and the Bangers. And they were like, can you come in and sing on a song that we're gonna do? And I was like, of course. I love Tank, I love the Bangers, I love Tavia, who manages Tank.
Yes.
And so I'm like, sure. I'm thinking I'm going in to sing like some oohs and some ahs. I'm like, shoo-wop, doo-wop, happy to do that. But when I got in there, she was like, I want you to sing a part of the solo, like as a lead singer. So I was very elated. Got in there, PJ Morton is singing on there, David Shaw, the revivalist. Like, it's an all-star cast, and all of these local New Orleans artists that are amazing. Tracy Lee, Josh Kegler, Jelly is singing. I mean, it's top notch. So the year is starting off with such a great bang. March happens.
Here we go.
And I get COVID. Now, I had written this song in January. It's called Never Never Land.
Yeah.
But March happened and everything stopped. And I actually contracted COVID and literally almost died. Literally got to the point of being in the back of an ambulance, being rushed to the hospital at like 4 o'clock in the morning because I had passed out on the floor in the bathroom. Yeah, it was insane. So all of my music that I had been hoping to put out, it had to take a back seat.
Of course.
But it was really intended that way because God had to work on me and work on the real song, which is my life, you know, so I could really properly put pieces together.
Wow.
And so I got better after 42 days of being in quarantine in my house, could not have any contact with any person physically for 42 days. And then as soon as my health started getting to a point where I could walk, run, exercise like I used to, then I started feeling ready to get back in that studio.
Okay.
And I reached out to some of the most incredible producers and musicians in this city.
Obviously.
One being my sister, who's been writing with me and singing with me my whole life, but we had never really written together in the studio. I said, Margaret, I need you to write with me on this song. I called in Nick Mercadell, one of the most amazing producers and drummers that I've been working with, and Andrew Block. And Andrew owns the Neutral Sound Studios. So we just sat down and we talked, the two of them and my sister. We met at this little Italian restaurant on Carrollton, and I'm like, check it. I want to have an album that is remembered for all time. So I made this chart. I said, I want us to study the greatest albums of all times. Everybody go and study the greatest album of all times. Like, look it up. What does Billboard, Rolling Stone say? And then come back to the table and tell me what are the things that made it great. So everybody went and researched, and we found you had to have more than one genre. That was the biggest thing we found. Every person that had an amazing album, they didn't just stick in one lane. The reason why they became one of the greatest albums is because they fused more than one genre together. So I said, we have to do that, and we have to make sure that people can dance to it. We have to make sure that people can, after they sing it, after they hear it for the first time they have to be able to sing the melody.
Hello.
So we added all of these pieces to the work. We called in some other instrumentalists. We called in some vocalists. And we got in the studio and we plowed it out. We disagreed. We debated. We got back in. We did it again. And finally, we created something so special that it lived on its own. And so on November 27th, the first single, which is entitled Never Never Land, comes out along with the video, which I am doing choreography, the whole thing. I don't know if you guys have ever seen the Big Frida show that's on Fuse TV.
Yeah, of course.
But you know, Big Frida's choreographer, Tam.
Yeah.
Tam. Oh. So Tam actually came in and choreographed the music video for me. Yeah. And originally I was just gonna dance through the whole video, but her energy and her spirit was so amazing. I'm like, you know what, will you do this video with me? So she did it with me. So it's in editing right now, and I can't wait. I'm so proud of the work because so many people's hands are involved here. It's gonna make you dance. It's gonna make you feel like you are in another world. And I believe it's gonna last for generations. It's one of those songs.
I can tell. I gotta sneak. It made me want to dance, but it also made me feel like it's international.
Yeah.
And
yeah,
I said, like, this song, I see your name in lights.
Wow.
I see this song being world class.
Wow.
And the performances, like your video sets the tone, I'm sure, but I'm talking about theater. I'm talking about.
Yeah.
I when I heard that song, you have no idea.
Thank you.
The direction. My mind was evolving into.
Thank you.
It could do this. It could do that, and we can, obviously see it here being used. And there is. It's like limitless.
Thank you for saying that theater component. I mentioned earlier that my mom introduced my brother and sister and I to like Broadway musicals and stuff when we were kids, and my dad would take us to see like Fiddler on the Roof and Phantom of the Opera. Like I grew up on that stuff as well as Whitney Houston and like Tupac. So, and Sandy Patty and Kirk Franklin, all of these things were mixed in my musical box.
Yeah.
So if you listen to the song, which I hope you do, we added some footsteps at the very top of the song in the verses. And the footsteps sound like the Broadway stage floor of dancers, like on the chorus line. Yeah. So when you listen to it, I wanted to create the idea of like those 80s movies when people were like in fame and you would hear the dance steps on the floor.
OMG.
So we added all of these elements to kind of make
it makes sense.
A global appeal.
I was getting all of.
Thank you. I'm so glad you got that. I'm so glad.
I had no idea that was your.
Yes, it worked.
Bottom line, but you made it happen. And when you mentioned steps, you brought me really to thinking about, because I'm a music artist, of course.
Yes, you are.
And I actually put steps to a couple of my songs, and it's so important to. The dance vibe, the groove.
And I grew up in church. Like I grew up in church. I'm a pastor's kid. I'm from the South, yo. Like I remember people singing, what a fellowship, what a joy to find me, then know the everlasting arms. So you hear people's feet in church.
Can I tell you about that tap?
Tell me.
I played the drums.
What?
12 years old to 15.
I can't even see you
with
on
the
drum.
skirt in the napkin,
with a heel
in the pad.
Wait, did you grow up like apostolic?
Yeah. Well,
would you grow up like?
So
Kojic?
Pentecostal.
Yeah.
It was kind of So
with a long.
gospel.
Did you have like a long jean skirt?
I sure did. Well, I did. I
remember those days. I remember the girls.
But you couldn't even dress a certain way, and you wouldn't go to church.
But you were killing it with your jean skirt on for Jesus.
For Jesus. But when you did that, I said, "Look at him with that."
Look at you on the bass drum.
Yes, I was.
You weren't wearing those heels at church then.
I wasn't. I wasn't. That is what music is about. It's timeless. You can feel the beat. You have to move. It makes you move.
You have to.
Congratulations, friend. I see some great things happening.
Thank you.
I am already praying for the blessings because you deserve this.
Thank you.
You have worked so hard, and your team and the supporters that are behind you, they've watched you like I have. And who wouldn't give a piece of themselves to you? Wow. Somebody like you.
That means so much. Because honestly, I had come, if I'm really honest, one of the things that this album has taught me.
What's that?
Is that I didn't believe that I deserved help from other people. I knew that I probably could get it. I knew that people, liked what I did. But if you don't believe it in yourself to call it up and it to actually appear and manifest, then it can't. So there are repercussions at times when we play small, and then all of a sudden you want to show up as yourself. And so I learned that lesson really harshly this year, and I finally got it, and I'm not retaking that course again.
Okay,
I'm good on that.
All right.
I learned, go in as your full self, not as your representative. Like my representative was trying to please too many people. And then when my representative got tired of pleasing people, and my real self came through and was like, this is where I want to go, and this is what I can offer, and this is whatever, people were like, I don't know him.
Okay.
And that was true, they didn't. Because my representative was so accommodating that they just didn't, it was a different person. So I've learned from that on my own.
Sure.
And I really preach that message to people, like, what do you want? I don't know if you watch the show Lovecraft Country, but there's a line, what is your name? Okay. Who are you? And what do you want? And I really think about that. Who am I and what do I want?
Did I say he's deep?
I'm just saying, I watch a lot of TV.
So deep. He has theory and metaphoric, like, attributions, and he just fills me up with all this knowledge. And so, Professor, obviously, he's a leader in so many ways. That's all. But you are always sharing great knowledge. You're a wealth of knowledge, obviously.
Thank you.
Yeah. So now that you're here, at the point of you're releasing the single, and then the album is going to be following. I know that you have strategically placed how you're going to unfold everything.
Yep.
I can't wait. I'm psyched. What do you anticipate 2021 being for you?
I believe, I'm going to use what I just said to you.
Yeah.
Who are you and what do you want? So I'm thinking about that before I answer this question. I am believing and accepting that this album that I release throughout the course of now to March, the full album will be out in March, will be a game changer in the music industry and shift people's way of creating and what they put out. And I expect that it will be 20 years from now one of those commemorative albums that people still reference.
Yes.
I want that, not just because of the fame. I want that because I had that through albums like Lauryn Hill's Miseducation album. I had that in albums like Boyz II Men 2 album. I had that in Alanis Morissette's Jagged Little Pill. I had that in so many bodies of work. And I was able to build my career. Trinity 5-7 Local, their first album. Like, I built my whole vocal sounds, understandings of music, how to write, how to live, how to interact off of people's art. So I want to do that too. I want to do my part.
Yes.
And create a culture from my art. So priceless. That's what I plan to do. That's what will happen. It will do well. I will.